The man who controls his time controls his destiny. Time is the one resource that is given equally to every living soul, whether king or beggar, dreamer or doer. Yet the vast majority squander it like fools, spending their precious hours on distractions, worries, and tasks that bear no fruit. To take control of your life, you must first seize command of your time with an iron will. Begin by recognizing that every second you possess is sacred. It is not merely a passing moment, but a seed that, when planted with intention, can grow into fortune, mastery, love, or legacy. Those who treat time casually will be treated casually by life. But those who guard their minutes as a miser guards his gold will find that life opens its treasure chests to them. To own your time is to become ruthlessly selective about what and who deserves your attention. Every meeting, every conversation, every task must be measured against the question, does this move me closer to my definite purpose? If the answer is no, then it is an enemy to your mission and must be dismissed without apology. Pleasing others at the expense of your own dreams is not nobility, it is betrayal. The world is filled with forces that seek to steal your time: mindless entertainment, idle gossip, pointless arguments, endless scrolling, distractions wrapped in glitter. Each second you surrender to them is a brick stolen from the empire you were born to build. Guard your hours as a warrior guards the gates of a kingdom. Schedule your days with precision. Give each hour a task and each task a purpose. True ownership of time demands planning. It demands foresight. It demands the courage to say no, not only to others, but also to the weaker voice within yourself that begs for comfort over conquest. Wake up with a plan. Attack your day with clarity. Know that if you do not program your own life, someone else will, and they will not do it in your favor. Master your mornings, for the dawn hours hold a magic that multiplies efforts throughout the day. Set powerful rituals that align your mind, body, and spirit toward your goals. Refuse to stumble into your day blindly. Instead, command your hours like a general commands his troops on the battlefield. Victory in life is not won in grand gestures, but in the quiet, disciplined ownership of each fleeting moment. The man who masters his emotions masters his world. Life will throw storms at you, sudden winds of betrayal, waves of disappointment, fires of anger, and chilling moments of fear. Those who are tossed helplessly by these inner tempests can never command the outer world. It is not circumstances that shape your destiny. It is your reaction to circumstances, and your reactions are nothing but the offspring of your emotional state. Emotional mastery begins with awareness. To control an enemy, you must first see it clearly. Most people live in ignorance of their emotions, slaves to unseen forces within themselves. A fleeting irritation becomes a day's bitterness. A momentary fear becomes a lifetime of regret. You must refuse to be a puppet dancing on invisible strings pulled by your lower nature. Step back from every strong emotion and study it as a scientist studies a specimen under a microscope. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? Is this emotion serving my greater purpose or betraying it? Emotions are powerful, but they are not sovereign. You were not created to be ruled by them. You were created to rule them. A spark of anger can be fanned into the flames of righteous action or smothered before it burns your future to ashes. A shadow of fear can be transformed into calculated caution or be allowed to paralyze your will. The choice is always yours, though weak minds pretend it is not. To master your emotions, you must train your mind daily. Develop the habit of pausing before reacting. Create a space between stimulus and response, a sacred space where wisdom has the chance to intervene. In that space lies your freedom. A man who can maintain calm in chaos wields power greater than armies. His enemies grow weary before him. His obstacles crumble before his steady gaze. Emotional mastery also demands you choose your emotional home wisely. Some people have made a palace out of sorrow, a fortress out of anger, a cage out of anxiety. Tear down these structures. Build instead a temple of joy, a fortress of courage, a throne of peace. Your dominant emotions are the architects of your character and the silent creators of your future. Do not seek to suppress emotions like a tyrant crushing rebellion. Instead, seek to understand them, to harness their energy, and to direct them toward your highest ambitions. Anger can fuel greatness when directed wisely. Fear can sharpen instincts when not allowed to dominate. Love, faith, determination, these must become the generals of your inner army, leading you unshaken through every trial. The man who sees beyond obstacles holds the secret map to his own treasure. In every life, obstacles will rise like mountains, blocking the easy path, daring the soul to retreat or to rise higher. To the common mind, obstacles are walls, dead ends that spell defeat. But to the uncommon mind, to the mind trained in the art of vision, obstacles are nothing more than stepping stones, hidden opportunities wearing the rough disguise of hardship. Vision beyond obstacles requires that you train your eyes not to be deceived by appearances. The surface of a thing often hides its true nature. What seems like a failure may be the perfect setup for a greater victory. What appears as rejection may simply be redirection toward a better destiny. To see beyond is to refuse to be blinded by temporary setbacks, to look through the smoke of present difficulty and glimpse the shape of future triumph. When the road ahead seems blocked, the average man stops, complains, and turns back. The visionary studies the barrier, looks above it, around it, beneath it, and within it, searching not for excuses but for solutions. Every obstacle whispers a secret to those willing to listen. There is another way. The man who sharpens his vision until he can perceive hidden paths where others see only dead ends is the man who turns obstacles into stepping stones and adversity into advantage. Vision beyond obstacles also demands resilience of spirit. For the moment you decide to chase a worthy dream, life will test your seriousness. It will throw delays, doubts, losses, and betrayals onto your path. The dreamer with shallow vision will falter, but the one whose eyes are set beyond the temporary shall endure and prevail. His vision will become his compass when all other lights seem to go out. A great vision acts as a magnet, pulling resources, people, ideas, and circumstances into alignment, but only if the holder of that vision refuses to surrender it to momentary storms. Hold fast to what you see with the eyes of your spirit, even when the eyes of the flesh see only darkness. The seed of greatness lies in the ability to see gold where others see dirt, to see harvest where others see barren fields, to see victory where others see nothing but defeat. Train yourself to expect hidden blessings wrapped in every trial. Ask not, "Why is this happening to me?" but "What is the treasure buried within this challenge?" The eyes that can see beyond obstacles are the eyes that will behold the promised land of success that remains invisible to all others. The man who dares to break free from the chains of comfort steps into the boundless field where greatness is grown. Comfort is a slow poison, a subtle thief that lulls ambition to sleep and replaces the hunger for victory with the ease of mediocrity. To remain within the walls of what is familiar is to sentence oneself to a life far smaller than the one that was intended. No man was born to live within cages built by fear, habit, and convenience. Courage to break comfort zones is not a sudden burst of reckless action. It is a daily decision to lean into discomfort, to embrace uncertainty, and to demand more from oneself than yesterday's best. Every extraordinary life is the result of countless moments when a man chose to move forward when everything within him screamed to stay safe. Fear is the gatekeeper that stands between you and your higher self. It will whisper 1,000 reasons to stay where you are, to delay, to doubt, to shrink. But courage does not negotiate with fear. It advances regardless of the trembling. The comfort zone is seductive because it is predictable. It offers no great victories, but it demands no great battles either. It asks you to settle for a life half lived, settle for dreams unfulfilled, settle for promises left unanswered. Those who become legends are those who look comfort in the eye and say, "You will not have me." They are willing to risk failure, to risk rejection, to risk the unknown for the sake of a life that burns with meaning. True courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. It is walking into the arena while your heart races and your hands tremble, trusting that strength will be found in the very act of daring. Every time you break through a comfort zone, you expand your capacity, you stretch your limits, and you awaken powers within you that would have otherwise remained dormant. Growth is born in struggle, strength is born in resistance, and character is born in the willingness to be uncomfortable. Make it your mission to seek discomfort deliberately. Strike up the conversation you fear. Pursue the dream that seems beyond your reach. Face the challenge that makes your knees shake. Know that each act of courage builds an unshakable foundation within you. With each broken boundary, life will reveal new territories of possibility that you could not see from within the narrow confines of safety. The man committed to relentless self-improvement carries within him the secret to limitless power. Life does not reward the man who sits back and waits for perfection to find him. It crowns the man who chisels himself daily, who is never satisfied with yesterday's victories, who understands that greatness is not a destination, but a lifelong pilgrimage. The world changes, challenges evolve, and only those who continually sharpen their minds, strengthen their spirits, and build their skills can rise to meet the demands of destiny. Relentless self-improvement begins with humility. It begins with the admission that no matter how far you have come, there is still more within you, greater strength to uncover, deeper wisdom to unearth, higher peaks to climb. The foolish man rests in the shadow of one success, while the wise man uses success as a stepping stone to the next challenge. Growth is never accidental. It is the deliberate result of intentional living, constant learning, and the refusal to allow complacency a seat at your table. Every day presents a choice to remain who you were yesterday or to take even one small step toward the extraordinary. Those who live in pursuit of improvement seek knowledge as a miner seeks gold. They read, they observe, they listen, they reflect. They are not afraid to confront their weaknesses, for they know that in exposing their flaws, they uncover the blueprint for their next level of strength. They train their bodies, discipline their minds, and forge their character, knowing that the man they are today must die for the man they are destined to become to be born. Relentless self-improvement demands sacrifice. It demands you give up the easy pleasures that sap your energy. It demands you distance yourself from voices that coddle mediocrity. It demands you stand alone at times, misunderstood and doubted by those who have accepted the average. But the man who endures the loneliness of self-mastery will one day walk in the company of kings. Improvement is not a task reserved for spare moments. It must be the very rhythm of your life, the invisible current pulling you higher while others drift aimlessly with the tides. True self-improvement is not selfish. It is the highest act of service. The stronger you become, the more you can give. The wiser you become, the more you can lead. The braver you become, the more you can inspire. Your commitment to growth is a lighthouse to those lost in the storms of their own limitations, a living testament that man was not made to remain as he is, but to rise, to stretch, to transform into something far greater than he once believed possible. The path to taking control of your life does not lie in waiting for the perfect moment, nor in hoping that circumstances will one day align in your favor. It lies in deliberate, daily action, in seizing ownership of your time, mastering the wild storms of your emotions, forging a vision that sees beyond every obstacle, summoning the courage to break through every comfort zone, and committing to relentless self-improvement without pause or apology. Life bends to the will of the individual who refuses to live passively. It rewards the soul that burns with purpose, that molds every minute into a masterpiece, and that faces every fear as a doorway to greater strength. The habits you forge, the disciplines you practice, and the dreams you nurture in silence are the architects of a destiny no outside force can steal. There are no shortcuts, no magic formulas. There is only the man or woman who dares to say, "I will be more, I will rise higher, I will take control of my fate." If you are willing to choose this life, then the world, in time, will be forced to recognize and honor the unstoppable force you have become.